Ever since Jeopardy began, with Art Fleming as the host in 1964, there's always been a yearly Tournament of Champions, which contestants will qualify for by winning 5 regular season games in a row. And as Jeopardy has grown, we've seen a few different things change, because for the longest time, you could only be a Jeopardy champion for a maximum of 5 games before getting replaced, which meant that there were technically no super champions before 2003, when the 5-day limit was finally lifted. But beyond that, you can now get into the Tournament of Champions without even winning 5 games, as there has been the recent introduction of wildcard spots, along with a second chance tournament. And thus, in recent years, the TOC has gotten to be pretty insane. But there is one in particular that truly stands out amongst the rest. You see, not so very long ago, Matt Amodio would make his first Jeopardy appearance on July 21st of 2021. And well, after defeating the current 3-day champion, named Josh Sake, Amodio went on a historic run. In fact, it was the second longest in Jeopardy history at the time, with him making it all the way to being a 38-day champion, of course only behind the legendary Ken Jennings, who still remains as the longest reigning Jeopardy champion ever, with his staggering 74-day win streak. And normally we'd be lucky to get 1 super champion in a season, but Matt Amodio's run lasted from the final month or so of season 37, and continued going a bit into season 38.
We dedicated the stage in his honor. It will now forever be known as the Alex Trebek stage.
Meaning that he was qualified for the 2022 Tournament of Champions, as opposed to the 2021 tournament, which was for champions from the season he had started in. And this would be incredibly impactful, because season 38 would see the dawn of 3 more super champions as well. In fact, Amodio officially lost on October 11th of 2021, and just over 1 month later, Amy Schneider would make her first appearance as a contestant. Now, I can't go on without mentioning that she actually defeated 5-day champion Andrew He on her first appearance as well, considering that he is an incredible contestant in his own right.
Which means, Amy Schneider with $31,600, you are our new Jeopardy champion. We'll be seeing Andrew again in the Tournament of Champions, I'm sure.
And I promise that Andrew He would end up making the TOC even more interesting as well. But in the meantime, Schneider would do something that was completely unprecedented in the entire history of Jeopardy's running, in that she literally replaced Matt Amodio as the second longest reigning champion ever, managing to not lose until her 41st appearance on the show, which aired on January 26th of 2022.
With a 1-day total of $29,600. Congratulations to you. Amy Schneider, congratulations. What a run. Thank you for the 2 months you spent with us. It was very special. It was remarkable. We'll be seeing you again in the Tournament of Champions.
And just like clockwork, it would only take just over a month once again for Jeopardy's 5th longest reigning champion of all time, Mattea Roach, to make her first appearance on the show.
To our new challengers, Kathleen and Mattea, good luck. Let's go to work in the Jeopardy round.
Now, I've been an avid watcher of Jeopardy for at least a few decades at this point, and I remember watching season 38 with my son. We both really could not believe what was actually unfolding before our eyes. To have 3 of the top 5 longest reigning Jeopardy champions emerge within the span of less than 9 months
Jeopardy Super Champion.
almost felt like we were seeing something that was never meant to happen. I mean, genuinely, this was a surreal time in the show's history. The same way that Ken Jennings made people like myself and my dad in his own right feel all the way back in 2004, when Jennings replaced the current record streak of just 7 consecutive wins in regular season play with his incredible 74. And I'd really like to hear your experience with season 38 if you happen to be watching Jeopardy at the time. But somehow, Mattea Roach was still not even the last super champion that we got to witness, because just 1 week after her loss on May 6th,
You finished with $15,599. Danielle Maurer with $15,600. You are a new Jeopardy champion.
Ryan Long would make his first appearance on the show. And to this day, he is still tied with Scott Riccardi for the 10th longest run in Jeopardy's history.
Get ready for the ride, man.
Yeah. Oh boy. I don't know how you 15, 16 of these in a row. I mean.
Yeah, well, you're up next, man.
Yeah.
Get ready, you're going to be up here all day.
In total, Ryan Long's run would span over 16 consecutive wins before he was ultimately defeated on June 6th. This meant that we now had a grand total of 4 super champions.
In this unprecedented season of Super Champions, Ryan Long has taken his place among the season's best.
All of which are top 10 today, qualified for a single Tournament of Champions. In fact, Chris Pannulo barely missed out on the chance to be a part of this season as well, as he would end up winning 21 games in the beginning of season 39. But as far as the 2022 TOC was concerned, we were about to witness even more history in the making, because as it would turn out, Mattea Roach, Matt Amodio, and Amy Schneider would all be immediately advanced to the semifinals, and thus Jeopardy would end up hosting an exhibition match for all three of these players to face each other. And just to be clear, this wouldn't count towards anything in the tournament.
Welcome everyone to this special exhibition game of Jeopardy! The three players here on the stage with me became record holders not only in season 38, but in the Jeopardy history books. As a result, we saw fit to seed them straight into the semifinals, but what that means is they did not get the chance to compete in a quarterfinal match. So this is a rehearsal of sorts for them. No prize money is at stake.
But it would give us a chance to see which of these three titans would come out on top in a direct matchup. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention this iconic moment from the middle of that match, where Ken Jennings, who was one of the hosts of Jeopardy during this time, revealed that the Number Please category had answers that correlated to the number of games won by each of the super champions competing.
I don't know if you noticed, but the numbers in that category, 40, 23, 38,
While also humorously mentioning his own streak as well.
and 74, which is larger than all of them.
No.
But ultimately, Mattea Roach would be the one to win this exhibition match, and in quite dominant fashion as well, which was only a little surprising just because she was facing two people who had lasted on the show even longer than herself. But more importantly, this set us up for an even more interesting round of semifinals, with my expectation being that each of these competitors would make it to the final round to face off once again, with real glory on the line. But instead, something a little bit surprising happened. Well, honestly, calling it a little surprising is probably the understatement of the year, because in all reality, only one of the three people who were immediately qualified for semifinals would even make it to compete in the finals. But first, I want to quickly mention the fact that Ryan Long would actually lose to Maureen O'Neill in their quarterfinals match on October 31st, which was a pretty big upset all things considered. And as far as those coveted semifinal matches, Matt Amodio would end up losing in a really big upset to one of the crowd favorites, in the form of Sam Buttrey. You see, Buttrey made it to the TOC by actually winning the Teachers Tournament in 2022.
You win $100,000 and a seat in the Tournament of Champions.
And the fact that he could pull off such a win over the person who was arguably favored to win the entire thing was incredibly impressive. Matt Amodio wouldn't be the only contestant to face an upset, as Mattea Roach would also end up losing to Andrew He in her semifinals round.
Found it. What's your wager?
I got to do it. All of it, 7,000. Wow. What is Georgia?
Yes, and you have a big lead.
All of it.
Well, written soon after the last one passed.
Who are the Bronte sisters?
That is correct. You have $33,600.
Although to be fair, he, and I mean it as his last name and not the pronoun, had only been stopped in his sixth game because of the fact that Amy Schneider was in it, so we didn't exactly get to see his full potential during regular season play. But with Schneider winning her semifinals match, we would get to see them face off once again, along with Sam Buttrey now as well. And the finals aren't just a single match, but rather they keep going until one of the contestants has won 3 of them.
Let's kick off what is sure to be an exciting finals.
And the crazy thing is that Andrew He would actually win the first round. And by the 5th match, he was tied with Amy Schneider 2-2. And this is when Sam Buttrey would actually manage to take a round for himself, before Schneider would end up taking the tournament in the 6th game. And I wouldn't say it was a surprise that she won, but it certainly was quite interesting how the finals ended up playing out. And more importantly, as far as I'm concerned, this will forever be the most insane Tournament of Champions that Jeopardy has ever had.